Hey, Chucklefucks, it's your boy, Dark Raku here. With What If Issei Was a Serpent? Part 2. Now, before I continue this on, I should mention that I fell asleep before doing this What If. Because I woke up at 7 in the morning, pretty damn early. Because I usually wake up somewhere at 8. But I had to take my sibling to school, and they had to go on the bus, and oh damn, it was a fucking mess in the morning. But other than that, I was really fucking tired. So of course, I'm here doing this What If, and yeah, I'm also gonna upload What If Issei was Karma Akabas. Was like Karma Akabas Part 3. I'll probably upload that after this What If. Also, what's it called? I will be also doing another What If. That's just because, yeah. I'm just gonna stack a bunch of What Ifs together, like trying to upload them today. And then, because tomorrow, yeah, I still gotta study. Ah, Jesus Christ, I don't even really want to take the damn test. But I have to. Because I need it for, well, work and other stuff. Yes, I really never mentioned what kind of trade I'm going into in my first channel or second channel. You just know that it can kill me. You just gotta know it can literally kill me if I go into, well, this mostly trade. But not the point. Let me go into this What If and let me shut the fuck up. But yeah. Okay, sorry. I'm still very tired. I kind of just slept for like from 11 and woke my ass, well, mostly from 10 to 11 to like 12:07 I woke up. Yes, I kind of checked on what time it was because my computer was like right next to me. But yeah. But not the point, or mostly laptop. Oh, goddamn, I'm just rambling on. Let me go into this What If. So let's begin. We go into, well, Issei and his brother being at, well, the super mall. This is where, well, Issei sees Rainier. Rainier sees Issei. Issei pales. This is where, well, even though he's more, like, his illusion almost, like, what's it called, dissipates and shows his pale skin. Well, yeah, his pale skin, but this is where, well, Issei managed to cover up his illusion. This is where Issei sees an older man next to, well, Rainier. Rainier, well, is being next to an older man and another girl. Mostly the older man is a little bit taller than Rainier. He has yellow bangs, mostly a yellow spot pair of bangs, mostly covering up his like forehead, and the back of his head is kind of black. But yeah, he has 10 skin, of course. Well, he also has what's it called, a brownish, well, not brownish, mostly a blue kind of kimono because he's wearing that, being chillax and other things. Right now he has a fan just because extra. This is where, well, he is looking around the mall. He has, well, mostly these, he seems to be having these violet eyes, like kind of a violet, but yet a little bit of tint of red into them. This is where, well, mostly similar towards Rainier's kind of eye color. And this is where, well, his face structure is a little bit more rough, but yeah, like he's older than Rainier. And this is where, well, Issei then sees the other girl. The other girl has, well, palish, kind of like palish, pinkish, blondish hair. And of course, having them into two ponytails. This is where she has like some kind of stuffed animal, like right next to her left arm, kind of holding onto it. And this is where, well, she's wearing, well, what's it called? A uniform of somewhat, but of course, well, not really a uniform. She's, well, kind of wearing also similar kimono to the other guy. Of course, much shorter than the older man, but similar size to, well, Yumi or Rainier or whatever. And of course, well, Issei doesn't know about her name being Rainier, just Fallen Angel or Yumi or whatever. But of course, the other girl seems to have what's it called, also, yeah, kimono, but showing off a little bit of cleavage. And of course, because, well, her kind of bust size is a little bit the same size as Rainier, but a little bigger. But of course, well, she also kind of, well, is pointing at something. Her eyes are a dullish blue, which, yeah. But of course, well, yeah, her eyes are a dullish blue, but her skin is very palish. Kind of similar to Rainier. That's where Issei freezes at the scene right there. This is where, well, the older man is looking towards, well, the girl is kind of pointing at, and yeah. This is where, well, we go into Issei. Issei says, shit, shit, shit. This is where, well, he remembers how he kind of just ditched that whole date thing because, well, he didn't give two fucks. Literally, he didn't give a fuck. He was mostly with his friends, kind of just like, what's it called? Mostly, playing video games. And of course, where, well, Kabuto noticed this, but of course noticed the older man. This is where he starts walking. This is where he says, where are you going? Where are you going? Where are you going? He says in his head. This is where, well, Kabuto says, oh, hey, Hazel. It's been a while. I haven't seen you for a while. Well, I've been a while. Hey, it's nice to see you, Hazel. And this is where, Azel. This is where, well, Azel kind of looks, well, mostly looks towards the newcomer. The newcomer seems to have a palish skin a little bit, kind of tan palish skin. A much more kind of different skin from, well, Issei. Has golden eyes, but they're not slick. And, of course, has glasses. This is where, well, he has grayish hair, like grayish whitish hair. And, of course, he's wearing what's it called, a purple shirt, black pants, and, of course, these black sandals. This is where Hazel says, oh, Kabuto. He says with this, like, he kind of like smirk at the same time, knowing who exactly, well, Kabuto is. Kabuto says, so, what are you doing here? That's where Azel says, oh, I'm just here with my daughters. That's where he kind of flips the fan to cover up his face. This is where, well, Kabuto says, you have daughters? Yeah, I really love to believe that. This is where Azel kind of gets a tick mark into his like eyebrow and starts twitching. This is where, well, he says, really, you don't believe that? Okay. Well, how do you explain these two girls that are right next to me? I thought you threatened them. This is where Azel was like, I'm gonna kill you, you know that, brat. This is where, well, Kabuto says, you can try. This is where, well, Kabuto was just mostly pissing off Azel, but yeah. Or Azel, whatever you can call him. This is where, well, Azel says, whatever. I'm guessing you're here to talk to me about something. Sure. Your daughters, well, maybe the people that you threatened can talk to my brother. This is where, well, Issei is right now pedaling. What is he talking about? What is he talking about? You idiot, you idiot, you idiot. He even can sense the unholy magic that they have. They seem to be fallen angels, and for some reason Kabuto is talking to them. This is where, well, Issei, he is right now pedaling because he sees the glare from right there. And that's where Issei wants to just kind of run. This is where, well, Issei kind of says to his brother, hey Kabuto, I'm gonna be going to GameStop, so I'll come back and talk to you, okay? Or we can go to the shop that we need to go. I just need to go check on something. This is where, well, Issei is pointing at GameStop, and this is where Issei then just runs towards it. Or mostly just walks really fast to it. This is where, well, he gets to GameStop and legit just hide in one of the, what's it called, aisles, and legit starts calling his friend. This is where, well, he just starts calling what's it called, Motohama. Motohama wakes up after a while because he was right now, like, on a desk, like on a metal desk. Right now, this metal desk is like a toolbox metal desk or whatever. And of course, this is where there's tools around him. This is where he has, well, one of his hands right now on the table, having his head down. And he's right now drilling. This is where, well, there's right now something next to him, like a machinery kind of like arm or something. And like these other kind of gauntlets or whatever and leggings. This is where, well, he's right now drilling. His glasses are right now next to him. And this is where, well, he hears a ring call, and this is where, well, the ring call is basically the song, so the theme song, well, mostly the ringtone is called, well, Linkin Park, Burn It Down, but he was actually playing kind of like rock music in the background, so yeah, this is where he gets that call, and this is where his ringtone is much louder than his, what's it called, well, music, because the music is in the background, but of course, this is where, well, and a little bit further away from him. But the phone is like right next to him. He like put it next to like his well, glasses, and of course puts the ringtone pretty loud because he usually gets calls, and of course his parent gets annoyed when he doesn't answer the phone call. So of course they tell him to really put it loud. But of course, this is where, well, he hears the song, and of course it does blast into his ears because he's like right next to it. This is where Murahama kind of falls down and says, "Oh, my fucking back," because he was standing on a chair, but it was a little bit taller. He gets up and decides to grab his like glasses and gets the phone and says, "Yes, who is it?" Murahama. Issei, what do you want? So I'm gonna need help. Why? Fallen Angel. This is where Murahama says, "What do you mean, Fallen Angel?" This is where Issei says, "Well, you remember that whole date with me being going out with Fallen Angel, right?" This is where, well, Murahama says, "Yeah. Well, I kind of saw her in the Super Bowl, and I'm kind of screwed because my brother went with, I guess, her dad or something. I can't tell." This is where, well, Murahama says, "What the? Why are you calling me then?" "Bro, I'm going to just need you to call me to get out of situations." "How the fuck am I going to be doing that?" "Literally, when I go back, you call me, you tell me you need me at you're gonna meet me at your house. I tell my brother, and I dip." This is where, well, Murahama says, "You know what, fuck it. Okay, where are you anyway? In the super mall. GameStop, buy. Shit, buy me something there." This is where Issei says, "Fine." This is where, well, Issei said, "What do you want?" This is where, well, basically Murahama says, "I need Assassin's Creed 3. That's the only game I haven't got." This is where Issei says, "Let me check if there's in." "Oh yeah, there is." This is where, well, he says, "Buy it, buy it, buy it, buy it." This is where Issei says, "Calm down, sure. You gonna pay me for this?" "Yeah, just give me it." This is where, well, Issei buys it, and of course, this is where he goes back outside and sees Rainier and kind of, well, I guess her sister being like at the same bench. They were like sitting down, waiting for either their father and Kabuto to stop talking, or Issei to come back. This is where Issei gets there, sits down, and this is where he waits for the call because he did end and just told him to just call him back like about like 6 minutes, 6 minute talk. This is where, well, Issei kind of waited for like in the store for like at least 3 minutes, got there and just sat down. In the opposite side from them, is where Rainier is kind of having a glare towards Issei because she remembers that whole setup date and dipped. Yeah, he's gone. Like, he wasn't there at all. He just dipped on that date. This is where, well, Issei is sweating bullets. This is where, well, the girl who is next to, well, Rainier, she is kind of just glancing at Issei. Well, no glare, no malice or anything. Just confused. This is where Issei is still sweating bullets. This is where, well, Issei kind of feels really hot inside his, like, body. And, of course, it's not mostly love, it's just nervous. And, of course, this is where, well, he is, well, I should mention one thing. He's wearing a long sleeve, like a long sleeve blue shirt with a white shirt underneath. But, yeah, mostly underneath from the blue long sleeve. And this is where he's kind of, like, grabbing his, like, mostly back of his, what's it called, shirt. Starts pulling it up because it's pretty damn hot in here. This is where Issei is not pulling out his, well, mostly getting his shirt off because, well, you know, when you pull up your shirt and the other shirt's kind of stuck with the, well, under one, he's not trying to, like, show that off. This is where Issei gets a call from Murahama, and this is where, well, Murahama says, "Yo, man, I need you at my house." This is where, well, Issei says, "Oh, shit, okay, I'll be there. Let me just go tell my brother and I can dip." This is where, well, Issei stands up, goes to, well, hear what, well, Kabuto and Eizo was talking about. This is where Eizo stops talking. This is where Kabuto turns around and says, "Yes, Issei, do you need something?" Issei says, "Yeah, I got a call from my friend, and he needs me to go to his house real quick, but yeah, I'm gonna go. Don't worry, you can call me back to go towards the mall, but yeah." Kabuto says, "Fine, you can go." Issei says, "Yes." This is where Issei just dips, just kind of just starts fast walking. This is where, well, Rainier kind of just growls from Issei kind of just leaving. This is where, well, Rainier then thinks about it, and this is where she gets up and grabs Junko from the arm and kind of pulls her up. Junko is right now, like, eating a candy. This is where she was just shocked when she was grabbed and just kind of pulled with Rainier. This is where Issei is kind of, like, running, kind of, like, getting outside the building and speed walking, even though he doesn't want to be anywhere near Rainier. But, of course, this is where, well, he's near the park, and there's like no one at the park, which is weird. But of course, this is where he almost gets hit by a light spear. This is where, well, Rainier says, "Where do you think you're going, Issei?" This is where Issei says, "Oh shit." This is where, well, Junko is there, still having her arm just grabbed, and she's being pulled, mostly the blondish hair girl, but yeah. This is where, well, the girl says mostly, "Stop it, Rainier, what the hell are you pulling me for?" This is where Rainier says, "Oh, sorry, Junko." The girl now known Junko says, "Seriously, why the hell are you pulling me?" This is where, well, Rainier says, "Sorry, I just got too angry and I needed you to come along with me." This is where, well, Junko says, "But I thought we were going into the mall or going into another shop or something." This is where, well, Rainier says, "Yeah, but I need to talk to him." Issei, he sees this as a bad idea and was about to start walking backwards, mostly trying to get away from them. And Rainier kind of just realized what he's trying to do, and this is where, well, she throws another light spear, and this is where Issei dodges. This is where Issei says, "Jesus Christ, leave me alone for a second." Rainier says, "No." This is where, well, Issei says, "Wait, so you're not named Yumi? I knew that was a lie. And I can see you're a fallen angel and tried to kill me." This is where Yumi, who is now known as Rainier, says, "I guess you knew that much, since your brother seems to be well known with my father. I don't know why, but I have to kill you for breaking my heart, you bastard." This is where Issei says, "Well, that's a shame. For right now, I'm out of here." This is where Issei just jumped away and got away from, well, mostly kind of like dodges another light spear and right now rushes towards Rainier. This is where Rainier widened her eyes at the speed. This is where Issei was about to like send a jab real fast, but this is where a light kind of heavenly barrier appears, mostly a light barrier. And this is where Junko says, "I got you, sister." This is where, well, when Issei was about to like stab his, what's it called, jab into the light barrier, this is where he says, "Damn it. Fine." Issei right now adds some kind of energy towards, what's it called, his hand. Right now breaks through the barrier and of course grab Rainier, mostly from her face, and was about to just stab her into her mostly, well, neck. This is where, well, Junko widened her eyes and she wasn't expecting this. Rainier widened her eyes and she wasn't expecting this. This is where, well, before he even launches his hand into her neck, his hand was literally grabbed. This is where when Issei looks up, he sees his brother. This is where he gets up and right now kind of cleans himself. This is where, well, Issei kind of smacks both of the shit out of mostly his daughters for being idiots and attacking, well, Issei. This is where, well, Issei says, "Sorry about that, brother." This is where Kabuto says, "No, it's fine." This is where, well, Azazel says, "What the hell are you two thinking about?" This is where, well, Rainier says, "Sorry about that, father." This is where, well, Junko says, "Yeah, sorry about that." This is where, well, Azazel says, "Damn it. I knew something was going to be wrong. I even felt it." This is where, well, Kabuto says, "Why? Well, I do know that they were attacking with light spears, but were you really trying to kill her?" This is where Issei said, "Maybe. Kind of. Yeah, I was trying to kill her." This is where, well, Kabuto says, "Sorry about that, Azazel. I wasn't expecting my brother to literally try to kill your daughters." This is where, well, Azazel says, No. It's my fault for bringing them to the mall and didn't know you were there. If I would have known you were there, I would have just told them to go home." This is where, well, Rainier kind of speaks up and says, "The only reason I tried to kill him because he broke my heart. He said he was going on a date with me and then he never came." This is where, well, Kabuto remembers hearing that from his brother about like a date, but he said he won't probably show up. This is where, well, he does realize that now. This is where, well, Azazel says, right, I forgot you're still on the mission with, what's it called? Well, Coco, or not Coco, mostly Coco Bell. This is where, well, Rainier says, "Yeah, and that was one of the missions. I felt broke heart when I kind of realized he wasn't going on the date. Even though I know it's a mission and still stay my secret to kind of be with Coco Bill, it still hurt it like a bitch." This is where she kind of growls at Issei. Issei says, "Oh, he's sweat dropping because, yes, he literally just didn't go because he didn't care that much." This is where Issei is saying, "Well, about that, the reason why I didn't go was because, this is where Kabuto grabs him from the ear saying, because you ditched school twice. This is where he's like, ow, 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 stop it. This is where, well, he felt like his ear was just pulled on, but yeah, this is where, well, he kind of just glares at his brother, and this is where, well, his brother says, sorry about that. Literally, Issei decided to ditch 2 days of school, and that's why he mostly was with his friend's house doing something. That's where Issei says, not just something, just playing video games most of the time, but sure, why not? This is where, well, Kabuto mostly glares at him, but yeah. Issei says sweat drops, yeah. This is where, well, he's, Kabuto says, so yeah. This is where, well, Rainier says, okay, but I still want to go on that date. And this time he better show up. She says this, but really blushing. She was mostly all red from her face. This is where, well, Aliso and Kabuto were surprised. This is where, well, Junko was also surprised. She said, what? Sis? This is where, well, Issei was kind of shocked and just blushing also. But of course, where, well, Kabuto says, and he will agree to it. This is where, well, Aliso says, and Junko will be coming along also. This is where Rainier says, what? This is where Junko says, huh? Why? This is where, well, Issei says, I never agreed to this, you bastard. This is where, well, they're kind of arguing with mostly, mostly parents / siblings, but yeah. This is where, well, Issei's arguing with Kabuto. He never agreed to anything like this. And, well, mostly, Aliso is kind of getting screamed by his 2 daughters. And hated the fact that they basically, mostly Junko is kind of getting angry because she never agreed to anything like this. And even Rainier never agreed to anything like this. There's no way going to be like some kind of threesome kind of like date out here. Or a triangle date or whatever. This is where, well, they were forcibly, so we go into the next day. And of course, Issei is kind of wearing this kind of like bluish tuxedo. Even though he hates wearing these kind of fancy suits. Well, it's kind of a dark navy blue color with black coat. Like a dark blue navy coat. Or not coat, mostly shirt underneath. With a tie. Of course, he's wearing a black kind of coat. This is where, well, he's wearing black pants and black shoes. Mostly black fancy shoes. Not just regular casual clothes. But of course, well, he's kind of regretting what to call his brother. Putting the shit on him. Literally, he hates him. This is where, well, he'd rather be wearing casual clothes because it's just a date. They're not, like, literally getting married or anything like that. He's hoping not. He thinks about it because why is he wearing this when he's like not getting married? He's just going on a date with mostly 2 beautiful women. This is where he then just smacked the shit out of him because he realized he just said that in his head. Luckily, they're not here yet. And this is where, well, he really doesn't want to show his face. It's all red. This is where, well, his friend mostly was called Marahama was confused and why he didn't show up yesterday. And Issei said because tomorrow's going to be troublesome. I would just mail, it would just like send or mail the what's called Assassin's Creed game towards your house. This is where Marahama scoffs, but then he says, so what are you going to do tomorrow? This is where Issei said, well, that's a problem. I'm going on a, how should I say? This is where, well, Issei says, well, I'm going on a double date. This is where he kind of tells Marahama. Marahama just spits out saying, what? You're literally taking this whole perverse shit into the next level. This is where, well, Issei says, it's not my fault, it's my brother. He literally got me a double date. With who? And who's the other person? This is where, well, Issei says, 2 girls. This is where, well, Marahama says, damn, you're fucked. And if they find out you're not perverted, then what? This is where Issei says, they already know I'm not perverted. This is where, well, Marahama says, damn, well, that sucks for you. Who are you just going with? Is it just you 2 and the other 2? No, it's just me and the 2 girls. This is where, well, Marahama says, I would say lucky, but I really don't care about females that much, so, yeah. This is where, well, Issei says, yeah, I'm screwed. This is where he says to himself, and mostly fine enough, but of course, Marahama heard, and he says, yeah, you're basically screwed. If they find out what kind of species you are, you're screwed. Yeah, but they are, how should I say, they're fallen angels. Oh shit, never mind, you're definitely screwed. Yeah. This is where, well, What am I saying? Well, good luck. Don't try to die, man, because I still need my Assassin's Creed thing. This is where Issei says, screw you, man. I thought you'd give me some courage and mostly a motive speech about, like, survive or something. This is where, well, what am I saying? Well, good luck, soldier. Bye, see you. And he hangs up. This is where Issei says, fuck you, man. Issei right now just grown to himself because he's going to be dragged down in such a pain. So, of course, we go to the next day, and of course, there's what Issei remembers, and this is where Issei is right now kind of grabbing his coat and trying to stretch because he's right now really tight and hurting his neck. This is where, well, he then looks up and sees, well, Rainier and, well, Junko, and his nose almost had a blood nose. He almost kind of started bleeding from his nose. This is where, well, Issei also, I should mention, he did add it was called a, like, little hood in the back, or not hood, he mostly does have a cone, whatever, but of course, when he sees what's it called Junko and Rainier appear, this is where, well, Rainier has what's it called this pink kind of, like, face, very pinkish, but of course, this is where, when she sees Issei, her face becomes fully red, but of course, she's wearing what's it called, like, this black dress, mostly this, like, well, not black dress. It's like a black with, well, mostly it's red, but it has like these black kind of like outlines for her dress and other things. She's having like this red kind of flower on top of her head. And of course, well, the black dress doesn't really cover up her kind of like chest and just like let it out, kind of seeing a little bit of her cleavage or a lot of it. And of course, where two of her hairs, well, mostly since she does have long, straight black hair, it goes down and two of mostly her kind of hairlines kind of go onto her chest, and this is where, well, Issei almost had a blood nose. When he sees Junko's, he almost just died at that point. This is where, well, so Junko's dress was mostly, what's it called, a red dress, similar to what's it called, Rainier's, but instead of having an outline of like pink, or not pink, mostly black, it's pink. And of course, where, well, she has what's it called, mostly her two ponytails from yesterday put into one, mostly a one ponytail. Well, not ponytail, mostly one hair together by kind of hold up by one of the, what's it called, like, whatever they're called, and mostly put it at the back. And of course, where, well, her pinkish hair is like that, tied up and just mostly to the back, not having the two ponytails. But of course, where, well, her dull bluish eyes are seen. And that's where, well, she also has black high heels, and the dress seems to show off her cleavage, but of course, it also seems to be in the middle, kind of showing a little bit off her kind of chest also. This is where, well, it's tied up by a bow tie, and if Issei is correct, if he kind of pulls on the bow tie, it might, like the dress might fall all off. He didn't think about this, but this is where he's not trying to think about this. Of course, where Rainier does also have, well, high heels, but they're kind of red, and they're struggling to walk. Mostly, Junko seems to be easily walking in it, while Rainier sucks in it. She hates it. This is where her face is nothing but red. Even Junko's face is nothing but red. This is where Issei, he is literally covering his face because he is not trying to show off that he might have been bleeding from his nose. This is where Issei kind of puts his phone back into his pocket and say, well, he puts both of his hands out and say, well, should we be going, my ladies? This is where they say, yeah. They kind of stutter out. Issei was also stuttering, while Issei's face was completely red. This is where, well, Issei couldn't ever imagine him going on a date, because literally his species is kind of not that, what's it called, active to go on date with other species, but yeah. This is where, well, Issei said, well, why am I like this? Damn it, I'm supposed to be a proud race of my warrior clan family. I'm just stuttering like this. This is where, well, he's kind of holding what's it called Rainier's hand with his what's it called right hand, and his left hand is holding Junko's hand. This is where, well, he is right now blushing like a madman. This is where, well, he's in the middle of both of them, and this is where, well, Rainier is mostly kind of having to hold on to his like shoulder because she still hasn't learned how to walk properly. And of course, where Junko doesn't really need to hold on because she can easily walk properly. But this is where Rainier says, I hate these high heels, she said to herself mentally. This is where Junko says, this is so embarrassing, into her head mentally. Issei says, oh god damn it, I'm going to die. Either from my blood nose I might have in the middle of the date, or literally I'm just going to die by passing out and dying by happiness or something like that. This is literally every pervert's dream. This is where, well, Issei is not interesting that much, but this is where, well, he hates his brother. This is where both Junko and Rainer thinks in their head, fuck you, Wowzow. This is where, well, we go into mostly two people looking on top of a rooftop. This is where, well, a guy who's wearing kind of a black suit, and of course, where, well, has yellow bangs on his head, and also called black hair. Right now, looking at, well, the three of them with his binoculars, saying, it seems my daughters are right now just all red. This is where, well, he then gives the binoculars to the other person who has grayish hair, and of course, where he has his eyes being slit gold, and of course, his skin being much more paler and has scales. This is where, well, he says, it seems my brother is actually walking comfortably. Maybe too comfortably. At the same time, I can see a little bit of steam coming out of his ears. This is where, well, Azo says, well, yeah. They're now known as, well, mostly they are also known as Azo and, well, Kabuto. This is where, well, Kabuto says, I wonder how they will act of this whole young knight. This is where, well, Kabuto says, wait, Azo, did you kind of put that whole reservation of the kind of fancy restaurant they're at, or going to be at? Yeah. Did you give the money to your brother? Yeah. You should know how to do this. This is where, well, they're kind of just grinning. This is where, well, this evilish smile. This is where, well, Issei, who is right now just with, what's it called, the two girls next to him, he's right now kind of getting, like, death glares by these guys, because when they walk into the reservation kind of restaurant, they mostly just come in, and there's, like, 3 seats, and of course, where, well, and the 3 opposite sides from him, mostly in front of him, is Junko on the right, and, well, mostly Junko on the left, and Rainer on the right. And this is where, well, they're sitting at a table, and of course, Issei is getting like these death glares by multiple men in the restaurant. This is where, well, Issei is getting more annoyed with these guys who keeps glaring at him. The girls also do get glances and glares towards, well, mostly the female population, because, yeah, since they're beautiful and other things, and making their man kind of look at them. This is where he's getting quite annoyed, and when he turns around, he sends a little bit of his power. His eyes goes in slick crimson red with these white, well, I mean purple mostly, but yeah. This is where, well, everyone felt like they need to shut the fuck up and look somewhere else, and not towards him or his 2, well, girlfriends, he says in his ad. This is where, well, he blushes more, but yeah. All they saw was this slick eye, mostly like this invisible slick eye, like a snake or like some kind of predator, looking at them, telling them to look away or they're going to die. This is where everyone felt that killer intent and just looked somewhere else. This is where, well, the girls can, well, mostly Junko and Rainer were mostly in their thoughts, and they really didn't sense Issei doing that, because Issei was getting more annoyed. With the death glares and him right now dying out of embarrassment, he was actually kind of getting more annoyed with the death glares. This is where, well, Issei kind of saw, what's it called, mostly the person, the waiter, says, so, what would you like to be eating then? You for 3, let me say that again. You for kids. This is where, well, the waiter knows that they are actually still kids, and he kind of looks to them and sees that they're at least 18 or 17, or whatever. This is where, well, Issei says, yes, this is where Issei says, I would like to get a steak. This is where he says a steak and something else, but yeah, the drink will be red wine. This is where, well, the person nodded. This is where, well, Junko says, I would like the same, but some other stuff. This is where, well, Rainer says, yeah, same, but mostly purple wine, or whatever. I think there's purple wine, I don't know. This is where, well, the waiter understands, and they kind of like bring the order towards, well, to get a chef and blah blah to cook it up, but yeah. And this is where, well, Issei, who is kind of embarrassed and still very embarrassed and shocked, Issei says, damn it, this is gonna suck. This is where, well, someone kind of goes to their table, and of course, this is where, well, it was this young man with this golden blonde hair, and of course, crystallized blue eyes. he has like this smirky and greedy look to himself. And this is where, well, he has a white tuxedo, but whatever, and a blue shirt underneath, but yeah. This is where, well, a white tuxedo, yeah, that's what I said. This is where, well, he says, well, hello there, you two beautiful women. Why are you here with this loser? He kind of points at Issei, and Issei, he looks at him with these murderous eyes, like, call him a loser one more time and he will kill you. This is where, well, he's been called a loser multiple times, but mostly this whole night, guys has just been pissing him off left and right. This is where, well, the two girls kind of look at him with a disgusted look because they can see the greed and lustful look into his eyes. This is where, well, the guy seems to say, how about you two beautiful women go with me and my friends back towards the car? Well, my house, my penthouse. This is where, well, the girl says, no thanks. This is where, well, the blonde hair gets annoyed and decides to grab Junko's arm and says, what I said, you should come with me. This is where, well, before he would actually pull up Junko, this is where his hand was grabbed by Issei. His eyes goes into a slick kind of purple and red. Issei says, you want to keep touching them and I will break your arm right the fuck now. I hope that hospital bill can, well, almost not hospital bill. I hope that hospital place can fix your arm after I snap it like a fucking twig. The person says, huh, you ain't gonna. This is where he goes down. And this is where, well, both Junko and, well, Rainier saw his eyes go slick. Like a, what's it called, predator looking at some pathetic prey. This is where, well, Issei's hair started going a little bit bluish color. And this is where Rainier and Junko saw this. This is where, well, his illusion seems to start breaking on him. But this is where he snapped out of it after his, well, anger and frustration. Mostly kind of left his body after hearing was a call. Mostly some waiters trying to break up the fight. This is where, well, the waiter stopped Issei from actually like trying to murder the other man. Now the other man seems to be older than Issei. Seems to be like in his 20s and other things. Now, of course, this man, if you want a description, he kind of looks like, what's it called, Riser from, from the Phoenix family, but he's not Riser. This is where, well, the waiters managed to grab, what's it called, this man and bring him towards mostly somewhere to sit. And his friends who looked somewhere else, like, they didn't know this man. Like, they weren't trying to fight against Issei when Issei just snapped his arm like a fucking twig. And Issei wasn't like fucking, what's it called, like screaming out loud or getting angry or frustration. No, he had this cold, murderous personality, and that shit wasn't even a threat. That was literally him just snapping someone's like arm, like he kept it as a fucking promise. This is where, well, he didn't hesitate at all. He just snapped it. This is where, well, the waiter says, well, sir, you're gonna have to leave. This is where, well, the two females got up, and this is where the waiter says, you two don't need, this is where, well, they say, he's our date, we will leave with our date. This is where, well, the waiter understands, and they walked out, but yeah, mostly they got kicked out, but they walked out. This is where, well, Issei kind of felt very embarrassed the fact that, yeah, they basically got thrown out of the reservation that mostly Azo and Kabuto worked so hard. This is where, well, when Azo and Kabuto were kind of, well, we'll see, Kabuto was in an illusion and saw this whole situation, he actually kind of smiles at himself. Now, of course, seeing the fact that Issei did protect, what's it called, Junko and, what's it called, Rainier, because he didn't know if Issei would protect him, but of course Issei did. And he didn't hesitate in snapping this motherfucker's arm off. Like, if Issei had his way and no one saw, he would have snapped this guy's head off. Mostly, like, ripped it off for being such a piece of shit. Now, of course, this is where, well, mostly Kabuto was seeing all of this. And seeing that mostly, well, Junko and Rainier just stand up and leave with, well, Issei. Mostly Azo saw this from far away, but of course he didn't know the situation. But he was hearing it from the, well, mostly earbud that he had. And of course, since, what's it called, Kabuto had a microphone on him, they're mostly spying on them just to see how their first dates would go on, but yeah. But this is where, well, that is going on, this is where, well, Azo says, so that's what happened. Well, since I'm already a fallen, it doesn't matter if I kill some humans. This is where, well, Kabuto says, I'm going to slaughter them for even, like, letting my brother be kicked out. This is where, well, they have murderous glares. Mostly, well, Azo spreads his wings, his black wings, And also, well, we'll see Kabuto, his golden slick eyes show a little bit. Now, of course, the young man decides to leave with what's it called, his friends. Now, of course, they were trying to look for what's it called, those kids, mostly what's it called, the two beautiful women, and of course that kid or whatever. Now, of course, they were like saying, "Damn it, where did that bastards went? Or that damn slut and that bastard?" This is where, well, mostly his arm is still being trying to be healed, but yeah, mostly thanks to his friend who has a sacred gear. But the sacred gear is so weak, it's nothing like compared to Azia's Gentle's, well, what's it called, sacred gear. That's what, well, and they says, "Don't know, bro, don't know." This is where, well, they're walking, but of course, where, well, they bumped into two people. A guy with yellowish hair in the front, black hair in the back. Right now, wearing this black tuxedo, and of course, where, well, having 10 black wings behind him. And then beside him is none other than Kabuto in already his serpent form, his true form, called serpent form. This is where, well, he glares at them with his two horns, well, mostly on top of him like a serpent, other things, but yeah. And having two, well, not two, four large white snakes behind him. This is where, well, they're right now hissing at, well, the kind of, well, mostly like 6 dudes. Just where, well, their female partners also to the left because they saw how arrogant they were mostly, but yeah. This is where, well, the one in the middle says, "What do you two want?" This is where, well, Kabuto says, "To kill you for bothering my brother and his date." This is where, well, Hazel says, "To murder you for for touching my daughter." This is where, well, they kind of see that they're not lying after they saw the, what's it called, well, the giant snakes and the wings. They're right now shit themselves, realizing that they are not humans at all. Their eyes show murderous intent. This is where they were trying to run away, but this is where 4 snakes grab upon, what's it called, and biting upon 4 of the people. This is where, well, Azo appears with a light spear right now, sending it straight down and stabbing upon 2 of them. This is where the last one was the leader. This is where the leader said, "What are you gonna do to me?" This is where, well, Azo and Kabuto say, "Torture you for your cocky, grieful looking ass." This is where, well, no, the kind of 20-year-old kid say, "Wait, no, you can talk. We can talk about this." This is where, well, we go into the moon turning red for a second, and well, we go back into mostly Issei and his date. This is where Issei and the others are in the park, and of course, this is where, well, Issei for some reason has this weird feeling, mostly this feeling of like his older brother doing something crazy, but of course he didn't pay attention too much. This is where, well, Elsa, or not Elsa, mostly Junko and Rainer feels like their father did also something crazy, but they're mostly at the park. Now, of course, well, they're sitting down. Of course, they're a little bit hungry. Now, of course, they're wearing fancy stuff, so they can't just go up to some like place and just like eat something that isn't like a 5-star restaurant. This is where, well, he say, "Sorry about." He said it very quietly, but it was still loud enough for what's it called, Junko and Rainer to hear. This is where he say, "Sorry about snapping his arm. It's just, it was just my mistake. Sorry about that." This is where they say, "No, it's fine." This is where they said at the same time. This is where, well, Issei said, "Really, is it fine? Because you two seem hungry." Yeah. This is where, well, their faces are red because of embarrassment. This is where, well, Issei says, "Well, I guess you can come back to my house, or maybe I can cook stuff if you want to." This is where they say, "We will like that." This is where, well, Issei felt something going straight towards him, and this is where Issei right now sends some kind of barrier, magic spell, barrier of what's it called, serpent barrier. This is where well, mostly like the serpent symbols appear right all around what's it called, Junko and Rainer, and they block these light spears from actually stabbing upon them. This is where, well, these fallen angels appear, mostly like a group of them. There's about 10 of them, and about 2 of them has 6 wings, and the others have, well, mostly 5 of them has what's it called, 4 wings, and the leftovers have like these 2 wings. And so are Rainer and Junko widen their eyes. Fallen angels. This is where, well, but they seem to be attacking them, even though they know that they are the daughters of what's it called, Azo. And Well, mostly Junko and Reiner does know that Azo never did send assassins or anything towards them, because it seems the light spirits was actually going towards them and not Issei. This is where, well, they then think about Kokobell. This is where, well, Issei says, damn it, what are they talking about? Or mostly attacking us for? This is where, well, Issei kind of glances at Reiner and Junko, but they also look like confused, so he thinks there might be another group of fallen angels right now, revolution against the Ka, as or whatever. He doesn't even know he's the governor general, but he doesn't care. This is where, well, Issei, he kind of looks at them and says, what do you want? He still has the barrier still lifted up. This is where, well, they said, what we want? Oh, we want to kill those damn sluts of the governor general. This is where, well, Issei says, what are you talking about? This is where, well, they says, oh, you don't need to know, you little human. You just either gotta get away from them or we will kill you. This is where, well, Issei says, yeah, right. This is where they look at Issei, seeing that Issei doesn't even want to let go of the barrier. Issei kind of sighs. He does know he's going to have to show off his true form, because he doesn't sense his brother or even Azo around. He did sense him when he was in the restaurant, but he doesn't know where they went. This is where, well, Issei says, hey Junko, hey Reiner, if I show you my true form, will you still like me or will you hate me? This is where they look confused at him, and this is where Reiner answers saying, you're kind-hearted and gentle. I will still love you, I guess. This is where she didn't want to admit it fully, but of course her face is nothing but red. It was such a weird question, but of course, where Junko says, I don't care and what you look like, Junko said. You're still very kind-hearted and amazing, I guess. Issei kind of heard the words, and he smiles. This is where, well, he says, good to know. This is where Issei, he closes his eyes and they become slick. They become mostly around his slick eye, his black slick eye. It becomes, or not black, it's actually silver. It's a silver slick eye. Around it becomes a purple with red tint. Mostly a purple, dark purple with red tint of it. This is where, well, his, what's it called, hair started lighting up and becoming a brightish blue, but still had like some purple in it. Mostly this is what it looked like. This is where, well, this is how he would look like. Mostly his skin does become palish. This is where like fully palish, and this is where, well, his hair does become like bluish, like a tint of like blue, but like a green tint, but also purple highlights, but yeah. And this is where, well, Issei then one of his hands that were still free, mostly it was like left hand, or not left hand, right hand, he says Kusanagi. This is where he pulls out the Kusanagi out of a snake's head, because like the snake appeared out of nowhere, like a summoning circle, and this is where a snake appears. Right now pulling out the Kusanagi from his like what's it called, mostly throat and other things, mostly from his mouth. Issei pulled it out, and Issei's aura has become much more different and much more dangerous. But at the same time, like nature itself loves him. This is where, well, Issei lets go of the barrier and says, well, it doesn't let go. He mostly kind of like lets it stay there. And of course, the barrier just stays. This is where he doesn't need to be holding it. He adds energy towards the barrier and just to allow to regen. Issei walks through it. This is where Junko and Reiner were in their eyes. Issei's hair, I should mention, also kind of got it longer. This is where, well, Issei says, I won't let you hurt those that I love, even if it means becoming a monster. This is where, well, Issei, he got the Kusanagi in his, well, right hand. This is where in his left hand he says, what's it called? He doesn't call it God Slayer. He says, Longitis, God Killer Sword. This is where a magic circle appears, being a darkish blue color. And this is where he pulls out this bluish blade. Well, it mostly has a black blade. It's like a black blade. But in the middle of the kind of handle or something like the kind of guard has a red slick eye. And this is where, well, it turns blue. It has a bluish aura. This is where, Issei, Kusanagi, mostly the Kusanagi, the guard is kind of gold. The blade itself is all kind of like metallic, but it's a strong metal, unknown for anyone. But of course, and the guard is kind of having like this green kind of gem color. This is where, well, Issei, right now his aura became a little bit stronger. This is where Issei says, I will kill you all. This is where, well, Issei stabs the blade, the Kusanagi blade down, and this is where he pulls it up, And right now it says extend. This is where the blade extends. This is where, well, I'm just gonna allow it to be able to extend. And this is where it stabs upon, what's it called? Well, if I can remember right, larger, that's the extend, I think so. This is where it extends and it stabs into, well, a, what's it called? Fallen angel. This is where he then cuts it out from the fallen angel's like body, like he slices through and then stabs upon another person. And this is where, well, they felt like poison is now going through them. The Kusanagi has the ability to, what's it called, poison them. This is where Issei appears right in front of, well, some of the fallen angels with the other sword, and he swings it once, and this brightest blue color appears right now, igniting the, what's it called, well, the thin air. But it's not fire. But of course, it's just weird energy that literally just kills some of the fallen angels without a care in the world. The sword is kind of like a longitis, but it's not a longitis. I kind of like it's not really a longitis, but really, it's a sword that's able to kind of kill gods without even a care in the world. It stabs them so easily. This sword, well, the sword would be called what the hell do I call it? Pretty much it's called Stormbringer, and of course it worked well. Mostly when in the sky it lights up, it was lightning, and of course it zaps through a lot of them. This worked well. Issei then appears on the ground. This is where two light spears, very strong light spears, would have hit him, but he managed to dodge. Most of his body curved a little bit like a serpent. This is where, well, he's able to twist his body pretty easily because he's a serpent, a descendant of, well, a very powerful like clan that was here on Earth before even was it called humans or any other being. Serpents are those who are actually kind of second to best from the dragons. And this is where Issei says, boost the gear. This is where, well, boost. This is where, well, Junko and Reiner wind their eyes when they saw the booster gear. They even wind their eyes when they realized what kind of species Issei exactly is. Well, mostly Junko figured out. She realized that Issei is actually a serpent. Those who are actually pretty rare and very, well, last of their kind. They're pretty much rare and very, well, the last ones of their kind. But of course, Reiner hasn't figured out, but when she saw the Longitis Sacred Gear, the Red Dragon Emperor Gauntlet, she wind her eyes. This is where Issei says, boost the gear. Boost, boost. This is where, well, Issei appears right in front of what's it called, the two fallen angels. When he swings the Kusanagi blade, it had this greenish tint to color of it, and when he just swings it down, he easily cuts both of the fallen angels in half. This is where both of them wind their eyes. This is where Issei lands on the ground, and this is where, well, some of the fallen angels try to attack him. Some of them are still left. This is where Junko and Reiner says, no. This is where, well, Junko and Reiner managed to walk through because, yes, they can actually leave. This is where, well, Issei didn't let them really kind of, well, it looked like they couldn't really leave, but really they can easily walk through. This is where, well, they ran towards mostly Issei and what's it called, mostly his help because he was behind them. And it seems like he did take a lot of energy from his body. But this is where, well, Junko transforms her, well, back into having 6 wings, also right there. And this is where they launch a very heavy barrage of light spears. Mostly what's it called, Junko's light spears were a palish kind of color, but then becomes crimson red. While Reiner's, what's it called, light spears were actually a kind of pinkish color, but they became a little bit darker than that. And this is where, well, it stabs so many upon some of the fallen angels. The last one left was just this fallen angel with 2 wings. He winded his eyes when he realized that his old comrades were dead. This is where he says, shit, I need it. This is where, well, someone appears grabbing him from the neck and saying, where do you think you're going? Mostly a serpent, like a giant anaconda, grabbed him from the neck. This is where, well, Azo sees, well, mostly looks down and sees Issei falling down, kind of realizing that he's out of energy. His sacred gear disappears. And of course, well, he just passes out. The 2 swords also kind of disappears, but yeah, into magic circles. And Issei just falls down. This is where, well, Reiner and Junko went to check on him just to see if he's fine. And this is where, well, we go into Azel kind of glaring at the fallen angel, who was basically underneath Kokobell's kind of command. Even what's called, well, mostly the reason how was it called Kabuto got up there was mostly thanks to a tree, and he managed to send a serpent to kind of grab him from the neck. The what's called last fallen angel that really didn't fight, mostly looked ahead. This is where, well, and saw his comrades just get murdered so easily. This is where, well, the man got scared and saw, well, the murderous glare from Kabuto and the murderous glare from Azel. This is where, well, or Asa, or whatever you like to call him. This is where, well, the man said, oh, he gulps, but yeah. This is where, well, Issei kind of wakes up the next day. Well, he's not really going to school because he wasted so much energy. This is where, well, something shocking actually kind of surprised him when the fact that what's it called, well, something, well, like what's it called, mostly Junko and Rainier are actually going to the same school as Issei, mostly going towards the kind of cool academy. Mostly he kind of discovers that yesterday, but yeah, or mostly today, but yeah. But they're not going today because, well, yeah, they're only getting enrolled. But other than that, yeah, Issei is still pretty hurt. He's pretty tired and injured, mostly a little bit, but not much. Pretty much, Azo and Kabuto got information from that fallen angel a little bit, but still enough. This is where, well, they were still really pissed, and of course, Kabuto did crush his neck with the serpent, allowing him to just crush his neck. This is where, well, Kabuto and Hazo realized that might be a bigger problem, but yeah. Now, of course, the reason how Azo already knows about Kabuto being a serpent is in mostly a flashback. Mostly they met each other, and of course they were experimenting on what's called sacred gear users, or mostly learning about it because Kabuto wanted to learn more about the sacred gear that Issei unlocked one time, mostly the boosted gear. But yeah. But of course, with that happening, is where, well, Azo did kind of help him out because they kind of met each other, and of course they were both interested in the boosted gear. But yeah, of course, is where, well, Kabuto didn't really want, well, he got information about, like, don't trust that many fallen angels from Azo, well, mostly from Azo, because, well, mostly some of them are following Kokobel, so of course that's why he told Issei never to trust that many fallen angels. This is where, well, of course, Issei is right now in bed, but with also two beautiful women next to him because they were just worried about him. Of course, where, well, both Kabuto and Azo realized there might be a problem. It seems that Kokobel found out the rebel of, well, Rainier not really being in his ranks and really being a traitor, so of course trying to get rid of them and trying to get rid of Junko. Trying to anger Azo so he can start a war with, what's it called, Kokobel, but also direct that war towards the two heiresses, towards what's it called, the high school of, what's it called, Kuo Academy. But yeah. This is where, well, they were worried about that, but yeah. But other than that, I'm going to end it off here for part 2 of What If Issei Was a Serpent. Part 2. But other than that, bye. I need to go, but yeah. I realized it took way too much of your time, but mostly of the what if I was going to do the next, but yeah. Other than that, bye.